Oh, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Max and Juan Cast live show. All right, look, we made a promise in the beginning, but we kind of didn't really tell you guys that we're gonna go live every Wednesday, and then we backed out because work scheduling and stuff. So I thought just to make it up for you guys for this week, we will come live on a Sunday night. Very first time ever. Have we ever gone live on Sunday night? I don't think so.
No, I want to say no.
I mean, Sunday night is so nostalgic to me, Max, because even when we first started the podcast, I remember where we didn't do video and we was just in the dark doing our pod, doing the voiceover.
I don't know if people know about that, but like, yeah, I used to get it gets hot where we live, so we just like turn off the lights and just do it in the dark and stuff, man. I did
Yeah,
that a bunch of times, bro. It was honestly a joy.
that was the good old days where we didn't have to look presentable, you
No,
know.
I mean, I still try not to look presentable, but like, I don't know. I just put myself together at the last minute. You know what? It's been an interesting week, and I don't know if you mind. I want to like take the podcast listeners, video listeners, just behind like the curtain of our daily life. So we went to Universal Horror Nights. Juan invited
Universal
me and the soon to be
Studios.
wife, Universal Studios. Sorry, I never been to anything like that. I just want to say I hope all those people there hate me because I ain't flinching one time. I just stare daggers at people. Bro, I don't care. You know me, bro. I
Oh
don't care.
man. It
We
was
almost
fun though.
got one. It was very fun. It was very fun. The girls got scared a little bit. These
Yeah.
got me and you just statues, bro. Just like making them angry, making them hate their
I'm,
job.
I'm over here dancing in the weekend maze.
Bro, I think the funniest part, bro, is there was this one person that came up to me. I don't know if it was a boy or girl, but she had to be like, or he had to be like 4'10". I just
Mhm.
looked down at them, bro, and stared at them. And I said, "Hi, hi. What are you gonna do?" I was like, "Get the fuck out of my face." Okay.
Oh my
Why?
goodness, man. But yeah, we definitely had a good time on Friday night, man.
It was too spooky. Woo, spooky.
It was spooky. I don't know if it was more spooky than Sunday, you know. A lot of spooky stuff going on today, especially when the Raiders getting their first dub, you know.
Yeah,
Had to
yeah.
come
It took
on.
a miracle, an honest to God miracle for the Raiders to walk out of it LV with a win. But I know you're
and
happy.
And I know we're live and I know I cut you off, but I officially won my bet in Price Picks. Leonard Fournette just caught a ball, Max. So I got it.
How
I'm
much did
good
you?
to
Can you
go.
can you disclose how much you win?
Well, I only won about like I think it's like 75 total. 75
No,
bucks.
okay, okay.
But I bet like 20.
Oh, that's good.
So
That's good. I
it was
mean,
good.
your
I
locks of the
bet,
week is just tanking. You're 0
you
and
know,
fucking 4. I'd be embarrassed.
we're Cali. We're Cali, bro. It's illegal. It's illegal in Cali. So I'm not the best at that kind of stuff, you know?
No, I mean,
Mm.
vote yes on whatever prop that is, bro. Sorry, Indian casinos. I want to bet on sports, bro. Y'all can't have it. I know the tribe needs the money, but come on.
Yeah, exactly. Um, where do we start, man? First of all, welcome to the show. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. You guys have been killing it lately. Hit that like button. It's a quick, easy way to support the channel. And if you guys are in the live chat, go on and dump all your thoughts on us or opinions or whatever. You know, we'll try to get to it. Sometimes we're on another topic and sometimes delayed. So sometimes I try to time them up, but I'll do my best at that, man. But and whoever is watching this after the recording, welcome. Still hit that like button. All right, you're still welcome. Late to the party, go ahead and hit us when we're live, but that's besides the point. You know who was live today, man, and in full effect? There's no other place to start, man. The Buffalo Bills, from the
Mm.
title of the video. Josh Allen is absolutely not human. The Buffalo Bills, 23, they beat the Ravens in Baltimore to 20, 23 to 20. Some of the storylines for this game, aka the stats. Shout out to Max, our wonderful graphic designer for the pod. Josh Allen, 19 for 36, 213 yards, a touchdown, one interception. Jackson, 20 of 29, 144, one tub, two interceptions. Diggs, four catches for 62. and Mark Andrews 2 receptions for 15 yards. So the Ravens were up by 17 in this game, Max. 17 points.
Okay, let's preface a little. They were up 17 in the second quarter. Then
No,
Buffalo
at
scored.
halftime.
Yeah.
At
No.
halftime.
Was it halftime? No, because
Halftime.
Buffalo scored. I thought they scored right before halftime, so it was 10-20. Maybe I'm getting it mixed up, but it wasn't like it was the fourth quarter with 6 minutes to go. I just want to say that.
Like the Miami game. Yeah.
You're gonna look at the stats. You're gonna be like, how did Buffalo come back from that? I mean, the weather. It was rainy. It wasn't as bad as Soldier Field because they have fields. Shout out to the Eagles field too. It's not as bad as Soldier, but it was a gutsy performance by Josh Allen. It was, hey, hop on my shoulders. And I would say if I was gonna pick one, I love the 4th and 1. I hate the play call, but he rolls out to the left. Jason Odafe Oweh is right behind him. Does a pump fake, rumbles for like 5 yards on 4th and 1. It's like, how do you stop that? Because it's just you called the right defense, but he's just better. And that's what Baltimore kind of got dealt with. It was just Josh Allen's better.
Yeah. And I went into the game thinking like, Buffalo's going to score a lot of points. They're mad. They just got beat by the Dolphins and, all of that stuff. And Baltimore's defense scared the living shit out of me. They're going through some stuff. They're going through communication stuff, and they're very young in the back end. But it really did show at the end of the game where Josh Allen is just making these incredible plays, and guys are starting to get open. They started to get going because Josh Allen started off slow, and it was really Lamar Jackson who was playing Houdini in the first half. He was getting out of sacks, making some plays.
He had a throw on the sideline one that he broke like 3 people's sacks, threw it up. It got batted. There was 3 defenders on him, and then Rashad Bateman comes up with it. But I mean, if you're Baltimore, I know you're 2-2, but I feel like you feel kind of crappy. Like you should be kind of 4-0. And the run offense still isn't there for Baltimore, man. And I know they're banged up over there, but I mean, it's not going to do it justice. I mean, they had 25 for 125. I mean, sorry, they had 33 for 162, but 73 of those yards were Lamar.
Yeah.
Who are you afraid of? Like 13 carries for 41 yards from J.K. Dobbins. That's not good. That's 3 yards a carry.
Mm-hmm.
And Baltimore needs that running team, man. They need to have a running offense. They're not built like Buffalo to air it out.
Yeah, it's weird because they've always been a running team. And with Greg Roman, he's always going to be run first type of guy. And it just seems like the offense is it's really Lamar centric. And the last couple of weeks, he's been putting up these amazing stats. This week, not so much. I'm not going to say that the stats really proved like if he had a good game or not, but it is a testament on how lackluster their offense is on the offensive side. Like it's just bad.
The O-line too isn't as good as it used to be. I'm gonna kill her. Hey, can you shut the fuck up? People recording stuff live. Go ahead, Juan. Go ahead and talk, man. Let everyone see it.
But it's kind of like a mirror image with these two teams. I felt like both of them can't run the ball for shit because it's not like Devin Singletary is the best running back. And Josh Allen kind of just proved that he wasn't human and simply beat out Lamar. That's how I felt.
I mean, dude, I just think this is a funny stat one. Josh Allen had 70 yards on 11 carries. Lamar had 73 yards on 11 carries. Josh Allen just found a way to throw for 80 more yards. I know he had a few more attempts, but this was the game where the conditions affected it. Yeah, I think it kind of hurt Buffalo more than it hurt Baltimore, but Baltimore's pass rush won. For so many years, we've seen so many good pass rushers leave via free agency. Judon, Zadarius Smith, once upon a time, Pernell McPhee. They just seem so light when it comes to pass rush, Juan. Is it me or am I misinterpreting things?
Yeah, because they have some guys up there, but I really do think it's just more of the back end rather than those guys.
It's like exotic coverages and stuff. Wow.
Yeah. But another thing I want to say as Max's camera messes up, guys, but I think the Ravens with Jim Harbaugh, or excuse me, John Harbaugh. I don't know if you caught that play at the end of the game, but they wound up kicking the field goal or not going for it on fourth down, and the analytics and all that told them to go for it, and they didn't, and they asked them about it in the press conference. What's the balance that you have to show with your team? Because it's like, if you're Baltimore, I heard Bill Coward talking about it post game, saying like, yeah, as a coach, you want to just have your guys, you want to trust your guys and just play defense and trust that you're going to get that stop. And maybe John Harbaugh is thinking that he's coaching a Ravens team that in the past has that dominant defense and that dominant run game, and they can make decisions like that. But deep down inside, it kind of crossed my mind, like, is the NFL passing up John Harbaugh's like mental thinking of the game and just other coaches in general?
I mean, I think he is one to a certain degree. It's just we saw last year at the end of the year them being ultra fucking aggressive all the time, and it burnt them really badly. Do you? And now he's. I don't know. I love John Harbaugh as a coach, but how much of this do you hold against him? The kind of melt. Would you say it's a meltdown or kind of just letting up of big leads?
Yeah, like the aggressiveness has to be there. And I think he's kind of lacking that killer instinct in the team. You can only just sit back and trust your defense so much, Like, it just seems like everyone in the NFL nowadays, Max, is going for it on fourth down. It's like easy money. It's like fourth down and 1 or fourth down and 2. It's like a no-brainer sometimes to go for it once you're past like the 45-yard line.
Yeah, and I don't know. Do you think maybe just late in the year, all the criticism of being ultra aggressive's gotten to him this year? I mean, I
Well,
think everyone
last
makes
year
have their
he
place, but I don't.
eh,
Sometimes it's fucking stupid to go for it.
well, it happened to him last year. Remember, with the whole 2 point, I think it was the 2 point conversion against
Twice, I
the
think
Steelers.
it was Green Bay too. I think they did the same shit,
Yeah,
didn't they?
exactly. So he's already been catching flack for this. And I mean, he looked very upset in the post game press conference or whatever. But this, you don't want to waste Lamar's career here. And I know like Greg Roman is probably the perfect offensive coordinator for Lamar when he first got in the league. But I kind of feel like Lamar's already getting to that point where he doesn't need to be in a run first offense necessarily. Like, I think he can be the guy, like in an Andy Reid system, or um even a Tom Brady like system where you're doing the calls up front and you don't only have to read one side of the field. Like, I think Lamar's kind of breaking out of his box a little bit, and the offensive play calling and some of the pieces around him is affecting him, dude.
I mean, other than Mark Andrews, there's no one on this team that strikes fear in you. I know Rashad Bateman had a good week against Miami, but he's an unproven commodity. Same thing with Devin
Yeah.
Duvernay. He's been more of a special teamer than an actual weapon on the offensive side. So they need to add some receiving weapons. Don't be like the Packers. Don't just say fuck it. Let's just throw out some guys and see what sticks. I mean, we
Mhm.
always talk about one of our like things we made a video on was don't pay a wide receiver. That doesn't mean you can't have good wide receivers. Trade
Yeah.
up for one in the first round. Be like the Saints. Get a guy like Chris Olave, a guy like Drake London. You're telling me one Drake London wouldn't have been awesome on this team?
Yeah, exactly. He would have been great. And people got to remember, not only is Lamar Jackson playing for a contract, the Ravens are kind of playing for him. Like, they're kind of showcasing themselves. And I know there's a franchise tag, they can easily franchise tag him, but it's been shown when a player wants out, he gets out. And you have to wonder, if you're Lamar Jackson, is the organization capable of surrounding you with the best possible situation? And if I would have to answer that question up to these 4 weeks, it's no, it's not. It's way too Lamar centric. It really is. And I don't see Baltimore getting anywhere far this year because of that.
I think you have a valid point. One, it's you just talked about how the Lamar running stuff doesn't have to be there. I think if you want this offense to grow, you can have that stuff in there, but it can't be
Yeah.
half of the offense. It has to be 20% because one, it keeps Lamar out of harm's way. Yeah, you always want him to run the ball a little bit per game when he's too special at it not to run.
Yeah.
But you have to grow as a pass unit, and that's Greg Roman's crutch. And we've seen that in San Francisco with Colin Kaepernick to now. The passing offense isn't that dynamic. Plus, the weapons aren't that dynamic. And when you have that, and let's factor in the O line being a mess, it's just not a good recipe for success.
No. I agree, man. But the Bills, they're good to go. They're what, 3-1? Baltimore falls to 2-2. Pretty much like what you said, man. They could be 4-0, but they're not. Your record shows a lot of who you are. And speaking of teams that show what their record, the Eagles, 4-0, man. 29-21. They wind up beating the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh my
What's
goodness.
our record again, Juan? Just say it one more time for me.
4-0, undefeated. The last undefeated team in the NFL. Some of the stats for this one: Jalen Hurts, 204, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, had a rushing touchdown though. Trevor Lawrence, 174 with a pick and 2 touchdowns. Miles Sanders got the run game going today, 134 for 2 touchdowns. And Jamal Agnew, I was going to text you this during the game, but he kind of slowed down. But 4 catches, 50 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I was going to text you, Max, like, can you guys fucking guard Jamal Agnew? Like,
I
what
guess
the fuck?
not. No, it was as an Eagle fan, this game got off to we were down 14-0 in a blink of an eye. I think the first series of the game, Jalen Hurts threw a pick 6, and this was a game one. It was ugly, and I told you before the show, I kind of hated that the fact the weather ruined the ability for both teams.
Yeah.
It was just not a pretty game. I know the Eagles won 29-21. Jacksonville, after that, like first 2 drives, or one, they got the pick 6, then they drove down the field, hit Jamal Agnew. Trevor Lawrence literally fumbled this game away, and I don't really put that on him. It was pouring freaking rain, 4 lost fumbles. He's never played in a game like this. He's a second-year player, and the Eagles defense just got after him, made him fumble. Just get the ball. Just get the freaking ball. And he made one bad throw, but it was also a great play by James Bradbury. I just, like I said, it sucks that we really don't get to see how good Jacksonville really is against this Eagles team who still looks really good, but with this weather, it affected the game. There's no doubt. Miles Sanders had 27 carries. We ran the ball 50 times this game. Sorry, excuse me, not 50 times. We ran it 50 fucking times. What the fuck does that happen in an NFL game?
Yeah, I mean, part of it was you guys got up at a certain point in the 3rd and 4th quarter, but you know what?
It was a monsoon,
I didn't
basically.
I don't really think so. I disagree. I mean, like, yeah, does the weather play a factor in this one? Yes, but I think Jacksonville's youth really showed in this one. Like, I thought the Eagles had a great game plan as far as stopping them on offense. They had that jolt with the pick 6. They took advantage of it. And then they had a short field coming back, and they scored the quick touchdown with Jamal Agnew. And in the blink of an eye, it was 14-0, but it wasn't sustainable, bro. Like, Zay Jones was out today, and it made it harder for a guy like Christian Kirk, who was a big part of their offense. And you guys had a game plan for him. Like, Darius Slay was locking him down.
Yeah, but he did exit the game one, and so did Jordan Maitala. The Eagles lost some guys in this game.
Yeah.
But I think we just got lucky. We didn't turn the ball over, man. You fumble 4 times, you lose it 4 times. You're going to lose the game more than likely. It honestly could have been a lot worse for Jacksonville.
Yeah. And we got a comment right here, and I think this is a great question. You guys feel like the Eagles are playing not great opponents, so it makes them look a little bit better than they are.
So we beat Jacksonville, Washington, Vikings, and Detroit. I wouldn't say any of those teams are damn top of the food chain, but I would say none of those teams are bad. I think they're good teams. Like, I think all those teams, maybe other than Detroit, can make the playoffs. I think Jacksonville's got a oh no, I'd say Washington's the worst team. They're not going to make the playoffs. I'm sorry. But Minnesota's good. Jacksonville's good. I think Detroit's just one quarterback away from being fucking good.
I would say this, Max. I think he really does have a point. It was something that I looked at. It was the thing that I looked at before the season, and it was a big reason why. Number one, I picked you guys to have a good record and win the division. But number 2 is the reason why I was targeting Jalen Hurts in fantasy leagues because of the opponents you guys were playing. So let's just look at their schedule. They got Arizona, Dallas, Pittsburgh, Houston, Washington, Indianapolis. Then you guys finally play Green Bay. I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those quarterbacks until you guys get to Aaron Rodgers are all fucking average to below average right now.
That's fair.
Like,
That's a fair point.
yeah. And then Tennessee, Giants, Chicago, Dallas, New Orleans, and Giants again. So the Eagles have a favorable schedule with them, but it's kind of like the Cowboys last year. Like, they had a really easy schedule. They were feasting on the weak. But I think one thing with the Eagles that you can't underestimate is their offensive interior line and their defensive interior line. They kick ass, dude, up front. And that's no joke. And that's what makes them dangerous, because when you play a game that you muck up like this in the rain, like you said, Max, this is where those teams succeed. Kind of like the Niners, the Niners last year, they like those muck up type games. And today they prove, like, okay, you guys want to muck up the game and Jalen Hurts is not that effective in the pass game. All right, we're going to play defense and run the ball. Like, that's huge.
I would say with the not great opponents, yeah, that there's a point, but it's also the way the Eagles kind of handled 2 of the 4 opponents, even this one. I mean, if you take away the first couple plays, which were kind of unsustainable, Eagles whooped their ass one. For 3 quarters, the Eagles whooped their ass. They didn't score a point. The Eagles were rolling. Same thing against Detroit. We kind of whooped their ass, and they kind of came back late. So I think it's about the look a little bit. And it's like you said, there's talent all over this roster. You could point to that Cowboy team and be like, well, the defensive line's not that good. The linebackers aren't that good. The corners aren't that good. The Eagles have they have good players almost at every position. Yeah. So that's what's different. The talent on this team is better than last year's Cowboys. I stand by that. So the Eagles, they still need to test one. They still have, I don't think they're going to have that test till Green Bay, but maybe they'll be so freaking rolling confident it might not matter. I don't know. I don't know how good this team is, man. It's
and I wouldn't even say Green Bay's a test. All those teams I named, none of those are tests. Honestly,
yeah, no.
Maybe Dallas, the way that they're fucking playing.
Maybe if Cooper Rush just sustains this QB1 mentality and performance. I don't know. Look, and let me say, can I wrap this up with the Eagles? Because I just need to get this off my chest. The Eagles are fucking rolling. We have talent across the board. Unfortunately, the question remains, Jalen Hurts. He's answered it this year, and I would say one, truthfully. You know how much I was not a fan of his? Even in the rain, it looked a little different, bro. The balls looked better. The balls were on point. The pick six was a ball that wasn't a bad decision. It was just popped up in the air. That happens. Yeah. Happens to Tom Brady. It happens to Aaron Rodgers. It happens to everyone.
Yeah. And D's even saying, like, he's not saying the Eagles are bad.
No, I don't think that's fair. But he makes a valid point with the schedule. It's true.
I do agree with this, though. The NFC doesn't look good outside the Eagles.
Hell yeah, D. You 100% right, my man.
Oh, man. All right, let's go ahead and move on to another recap. Where do we want to go? Let's go ahead and talk a little bit more NFC powerhouse. The Green Bay Packers get away with the overtime win against the New England Patriots.
Against Zappy.
Against Zappy, 24-27. Some of the stats for this one: Zappy, 10 for 15, 99 yards, and 1 touchdown. Aaron Rodgers, 21 for 35, 251, a touchdown and a pick. Damian Harris, 18 carries, 86 yards and a touchdown. And Alan Lazar, aka Lizard Boy, as I like to call him, 6 receptions, 116. Romeo Doubs could have had a lot of opportunities in this game. He dropped a big one in the end zone. But
is that going to be a theme for the Packers?
It really does, though. Their receiving core is frustrating. And at first I thought to myself when I seen Aaron Rodgers play the Vikings in week 1, like, geez, dude, like, what do you expect? Like, you're getting so mad. Like, I know it's frustrating, but damn, you don't got to show it like that. There is a lot of times this game where I seen the throws that Aaron Rodgers was making, and I'm just like, fuck, dude, how do you fuck that up? Like, Aaron Rodgers threw this dime over Christian Watson's shoulder where no one else can get it but him. And Christian Watson is just looking up, looking at like the wrong angle and everything, and completely misses the ball. And I'm just like, damn, that has to be frustrating, dude. Like, I kind of get it now. But it just, how many wins can the Packers roll off where their offense is anemic, bro? Like, their shit, they got to get their shit together.
I mean, the run game's there. One, Dylan and Jones are real deal. I think they had about a $180 today, and maybe a touchdown, maybe not. I can't remember. But other than that, that's not playoff sustainable football. Because if you play a team like the Eagles, or be like, "Fuck your run game, we're gonna stop it." Now your receivers have to beat us on the outside. Aaron Rodgers can put the ball in the perfect places, but like you said, if the receivers don't pick it up or catch the ball, it's not going to work. And Romeo Doubs, right before right after the 2-minute warning on a 3rd and 8, caught a touchdown. Then he just dropped it. The
Yeah.
DB didn't rip it out. He just couldn't keep the catch throughout. And that's just, it's not going to cut it, man. That's how razor thin it gets in the playoffs.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I want to look up their schedule, Max. I'll look it up right now, but it worries me, dude, because I don't think every week it's kind of questioning how good their defense really does feel.
They got the New York they got the New York Gauntlet, Giants and Jets in Lambeau for both, then the Commanders. So the next 3 weeks should be kind of wrapped up pretty, even though the Jets, I'm fucking pissed. One, I told you. If Zach Wilson's going to play, I'm going to pick the fucking Jets. I did not know, because you made me do the show.
Mike Tomlin failed us.
Yeah. It's okay.
Mike Tomlin failed us. But the next test, the really big test for Green Bay is on October 30th, a day before Halloween, at Buffalo. They play the Bills. So they have a month to get ready because, like you said, they got easy opponents. They got the New York Gauntlet, and then they got Washington. I don't think anything highly of those 3 teams. But
Giants are 3-1.
Come on now, Max. They beat Chicago, who can't throw the fucking ball. But are you scared for Green Bay at all?
Scared in what sense? Like, scared once we get to the playoffs, it's just going to crumble again?
Yeah, like, do you have faith that the receiving core is going to step their shit up?
No. I mean, I would love to see. I mean, Dobbs has shown it. But I think it's more about what about Christian Watson, the guy you were really high on pre-draft, and a guy who was taken with a 2nd-round pick very highly.
Yeah.
Where's that? Man, I guess nobody in my house can close a fucking door quietly. I'm so sorry.
But I trust them because of this reason. The NFC is weak, like we're hearing in our comment section. It's very weak. And as of right now, the only top dog that I trust is the Eagles. That's it. So it's wide open, though. It's wide open. The reason why we did the show so fucking early is because Tampa Bay was getting their shit fucking kicked in. They're only down by 10 right now, but everyone knows this game was a lot less closer than what it is.
Well, why don't we hit the Sunday night game? Or no, where do you want to hit?
Let's go ahead and hit the NFC with this one. The Vikings in London beat the Saints 28-25. Stats for this one: Kirk Cousins 273 for 1 touchdown and an interception. Andy Dalton 20 out of 28, 236, 1 touchdown. Justin Jefferson 10 catches for 147 yards and a rushing touchdown. I want to throw that in there because he absolutely fucked me in fantasy by not scoring a receiving touchdown. But that's besides the point. And Chris Olave, 67 yards for a touchdown. Absolutely loving Chris Olave, the way he's playing. But I would say this, Max. This game just shows on why the NFC is weak. Like, these are 2 teams that have a lot of talent on their hands. Saints with the defensive end, Vikings with the offensive end. But you can't trust either one of them at all. Like, the amount of like averageness in this game was off the charts, I felt like, besides Chris Olave and Justin Jefferson scoring points. because I just felt like both of them were just so average teams, like, and they were going back and forth. But it's gonna wind up being that one of these teams are gonna be like the 5th seed in the playoffs. It seems like, Max. What did you think?
This is a number one reason to not trust the Saints. And what you need to know on is just it looked better with Andy Dalton a little bit. And let's be real, the Vikings almost gave the Saints the game with Harrison Smith getting hurt. I know it's London. I know it's always weird over there. But the Vikings, I think you were right about them. I think they're a really good team. It just sucks that the back end and that defense is kind of a work in progress. Lewis Sine went out. He's probably done for the year, which is a big loss, first round pick. But Viking fans, just be happy. It's a London game. It's a weird game.
Yeah. The double doink, of course, but it's just really hard to tell with some of these NFC teams. It's just all over the place. It's all over the map. And I'm curious to see what you say about the Saints now. Like, do you trust them?
No, I still don't trust the Saints. I think the defense will be awesome, but they're a quarterback away and maybe some playmakers away.
Yeah, exactly. But the Vikings get the win, the Saints get the loss. As Max's camera is
I'm
going
gonna
in and
fucking
out.
throw my phone at somebody today, bro.
Yeah, we're having a little bit technical difficulties with the camera work.
Yeah,
So
it's called sister and sister, basically, is the technical fucking difficulty.
bear with us, people. But
Thank God we went live today, Juan. Thanks, man. Thanks. Could have had all this shit fixed.
or we would have had to redo it because we pre-recorded.
That's true. Fuck it.
Let's go ahead and move on to the AFC West showdown as the Raiders finally, Max, get their first win of the year, 32-25, beating the Denver Broncos. Stats for this one: Carr 188, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Russell Wilson 237 for 2 touchdowns. Devontae Adams, get right game, 101, 0 touchdowns, 9 catches. Cortland Sutton had 5 catches for 52 yards and a touchdown. Look, man, I'm just gonna say this: the Raiders can run the hell out of the ball, man, and they finally. No, they can.
Week.
No, I think that's complete bullshit, man. I think
Oh
McDaniels finally fucking put his head down and said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go with Josh Jacobs. I'm gonna run the ball." Because if you're a Raider fan and you watched every single snap, every single game, we can run the ball, but somehow or another we get pass happy and we start throwing the ball, whether it's because we're down or whatever. But we can run the ball, and today we stuck with it. And I don't even think the Raiders ran the ball enough in this one. Honestly, that's
how
how
many
I
times do you
feel.
think you carried it? Like 30 times? And I mean, Josh Jacobs looked good. He looked like rookie Josh Jacobs.
He's been looking good all year, Max. It's just we don't
I don't.
run the ball.
Maybe it's just some pressure on McDaniels where it's like you kind of have to come in. You got the new toy and Devontae Adams. You have Waller, and you have to make everything look good. But maybe this is the recipe. Maybe you run the ball a little bit because your O-line, still not a great O-line one. I hate to say it. Maybe it helps protect them. If defenses have to play the run a little bit more, they don't just get the tee off on Derek Carr. And Derek Carr was only sacked twice in this game. How did you think the pass protection was? Because it's not always about sacks.
I thought he really used his legs today. And
I think he had like a bunch of scrambles, which isn't what
Yeah.
you usually see. I want to say he probably ran the ball more than Russell Wilson, but yeah, you brought up the Raiders run game one. Dude, the polar opposite for Denver. Javonte Williams got hurt, and Melvin Gordon. I think you just give yourself a round of applause, Juan. This might be the final nail in the Melvin Gordon running back coffin.
That boy got fumbleitis, man. I was saying it during the game. I called it. I said, we got to strip him, man, because he definitely has fumbleitis.
And
sure enough, yeah. And Amik Robinson, he loves to get burned on one-on-one deep balls and not look up for the ball, but he has a big ball, baby, and he ran it back for a touchdown, something that the Raider Nation has not experienced in about 4 years or 3 years, whatever it was.
I know that was freaking crazy to hear, bro.
My God. You don't know how many times me and my brother fucking prayed for a defensive touchdown to come at any point. We're like, we need it. We need it. This is the time where we need it. And it never winds up happening. It finally happened this game. But look, I think the storyline that comes away from this game is absolutely not the Raiders, man. And I looked at it from the other perspective. I was saying it during the game. The Broncos have a problem. They are bad. They really are. I would give credit to Russell Wilson this game because I don't think it was him this game. I thought he made the bare minimum plays on why they even scored in this game, honestly. And it wasn't that the Raiders were doing anything amazing. I don't think they were playing like amazing defense, and I don't think the Raiders were amazing on offense. It was just the Broncos were so fucking terrible. Their offensive line was getting absolutely wrecked. Like, there was a
It
point in
seemed
time.
like there was a hold call every other play on
Yeah,
Denver.
yeah,
I'm not sure how many penalties they had. I can look it up, but man, it was just like Garrett Bowles holding like every other fucking play.
yeah,
You get 7 for 50. That's a lot of penalties. 7 penalties in the game. And
yeah.
Max Crosby just had a day. He
Yeah,
was
besides Crosby, I mean, he's elite, dude. And whoever says anything less, bro, is out of their fucking mind.
Raiders love one pass rusher. One
They
really
love
good
it.
one. They
They love
never
it.
they don't like tandems. They just like one guy to get the job fucking done. I don't get why.
Like,
I know
just to put it in perspective, man, like the Broncos were in a 1st and 30 at one point.
I think teams are 0 and 100 when they have a 1st and fucking 30, dude. That's pretty
Yeah.
bad.
And I there were just so many opportunities where the Broncos could have got back in it, but their run game was nothing. Their pass game was nothing. Jerry Jeudy looks absolutely just underwhelming. I wouldn't say a disaster, but he looks so underwhelming out there. There's so many times where you wonder where he is, and they don't have a tight end. Their line is not that good. Russell Wilson doesn't have the mobile ability anymore,
They lost their
but
best running back for probably
they
the
lost.
year.
Yeah, he's probably done for the year. And
I mean,
Javonte
they
Williams.
weren't running the ball that well on you to start with, and I don't look at the Raiders one, and I'm sorry to say this, I don't look at them as some, whew, God, they're gonna stop that
Yeah,
run. I don't look
right.
at them like the
I know.
Eagles or like they're the fucking 2000 Ravens or something. This is not who they are.
Yeah, and that's why I'm look, don't get me wrong. I'm so fucking happy that the Raiders got a win, and they needed this one. Of course, they were looking down the barrel of 0-5 potentially
Does this
because they play
start
the
the
Chiefs
season?
next week.
Is this like a win that kind of jumpstarts the
I
Raiders?
hope so. I hope so. You know, I thought the offense did some great things today as far as play calling wise. Like I said, they ran the ball a lot more. I don't think Carr looks comfortable yet. I can't say that, but you know, it was a good sign of a team effort. It was a grinded out game. But if I'm being truthful and I'm playing a non-biased situation, it was more of the Broncos just fucking shitting the bed, dude. They're just not,
They were
and they lost.
two,
They also lost Randy Gregory today, so I don't know how long he's gonna be out.
yeah, I mean they're 2-1 entering this game, and we still both picked the Raiders. Felt more confident going with the Raiders because you beat Houston and you beat who's the other team they beat? The Niners. But it was a fucking fluky win. I feel like the Niners just left so much meat on the bone of that game. Let's be
Yeah,
real. And Denver, you're 2-2. I know it could be a lot worse, but this is as bad as it has to feel at 2-2.
yeah, yeah. If I'm a Broncos fan, I do not feel confident at all, dude. I think they have some serious problems. I seen it in week 1. Everyone wanted to say, "Oh, you know, brush it on the table, Seahawks, blah blah blah," but it's scary, dude. I don't like the way they look at all. I really don't. I'm not trying to sound like a hater, but that's just the facts
How
of it.
can you like it? There was parts of the defense to like, especially after last week, but this offense has
You know?
been the problem, and it's supposed to be the whole marquee of the team. You got Russell Wilson, you got these
Yes.
weapons.
Yeah. Facts, man. Shout out to Ahmad Bell in the chat telling us that our running back balled out today. And shout
I don't
out to
even
Dak
know.
in the
I don't even know whose team that guy is. He's on the.
well,
Oh,
since we got 2 fucking Cowboy fans, because shout out to Dak in here. Cooper Rush is gonna have 3 turnovers next week against the Rams. We gotta talk about them boys. All right. It's only right that they're in the chat and they're watching it live. So shout out to you guys, the Cowboys. the Cowgirls, aka America's team, 25-10, beating the Washington Commandees, aka the Commanders. Stats for this one: Carson Wentz 170, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, getting picked off by Trayvon Diggs, who had a beautiful interception. I thought it was a nice one. Cooper Rush 223 for 2 touchdowns. CeeDee Lamb looking like he's found his quarterback of the future, because I know CeeDee loves him. 97 yards for 1 touchdown, and Jahad Dotson had a 43 yards for a tutty. Look,
I don't.
we got to
Go ahead. Go ahead. I don't want to. I don't know what to say, man. It's not Wentz, bro. It's
I know what you're gonna.
not fucking Wentz, bro. Block, you fucking assholes. I don't know how Dallas has 2 sacks. They hit him like 100 times. They hit him on this. Washington team is horrible on the O-line. Like, it's bad. It is so beyond bad right now. The Eagles had 9 sacks. They teed off on Wentz all day. Dallas's front looks legit, but I'm going to say this. I said this about the Eagles, who they really played. Who the Cowboys really destroyed. Like, who's been the fronts? You got the Giants. You got them. Who was it last week? Who the Cowboys
I'm
play
blanking
last?
out too. It was this. So they played Tampa Bay week 1. They played Cincinnati week 2.
Yep.
Then they played the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants. Yeah. So the Cincinnati's O-line. We already know. But something about this team, man. It's Cooper Rush. It's a little bit more creative on offense.
Look, I think the simple way to put it, they found a formula. And I think one of the biggest thing that I notice about the Cowboys is they're starting to utilize their good players. And that's number 1, Tony Pollard, and number 2, CeeDee Lamb. If CeeDee Lamb was a stock right now, after like week 2, I would be fucking panicking, because it was kind of looking like is this guy just meant out to be a slot receiver? Like, is he just like a Juju Smith where he has to feed off guys and just he's not really that alpha, you know?
It was just like talented plays followed by head scratching blunders.
Yeah. Like he'll have a game like this for 97, and the next game it's like 14 yards, 1 catch, 7 targets. It's like, dude, where the fuck were you? But it seems like he has something going with Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is a smart player, obviously, and he's a game manager, obviously. And he knows, get the ball to great players, great things are going to happen. And you got to commend the Cowboys, because they found this formula where on offense, it's the CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard show. And then on the defensive end, this is where the team shines. They're absolutely amazing. Their front is great. Shout out to man, I'm forgetting his first name, but Wilson, the linebacker.
Not Damian Wilson. It's he had a
help
lot
us
of
out,
great
Cowboy
plays.
fan. Help us out. I know you know the name, but he's playing amazing. Micah Parsons is Micah Parsons. Trayvon Diggs, as much shit as everyone wants to talk about him, he's still a pretty solid cornerback. He had a great interception today. But let's get to the Cooper Rush stuff. Is he playing good enough to take Dak's job? That's the main fucking question.
You simply can't do that. You really can't just bench your $250 million quarterback. And me and you've been types of guys who are like, fuck Zeke Elliott. Let F him. Don't play him because he makes the big bucks. But I'm sorry. You can't do that with your franchise quarterback. You can't invest that much money into a position and just let him rot on the bench. Because Cooper Rush hasn't been Patrick Mahomes. He hasn't been Josh Allen. He's been good. But I feel like this offense has grown without Dak. The Kellen Moores have to become more creative. And let's have Dak enter this offense. And maybe Dak has to learn one thing from Cooper Rush, where it's about get the ball out quick, make the simple throws, don't hold on, don't try to wait for shit to happen. Just take your little 5-yard dinks. Just take them. And I will say this, props to Zeke Elliott. I know you're going to look at the stats. He's going to have 20 carries for 40 yards, 60 yards. It's important you rush the ball. I know Zeke is overpaid and everything, and I think most Cowboy fans will agree with that, but he's been doing his job on this team. Granted, you want more out of him, but he's doing his job, man. He's keeping them honest. He's making it so the Cowboys aren't just one-dimensional.
Yeah.
They
It's
need a
looking
test.
good.
They need a
It's
fucking test. Let's be real. They
I
need a
think so
test.
too. Because we're at the point right now where it's not like Dak's rookie year
It's the
where
honeymoon. It's like, oh, we're supposed to be 0-3 and we're 3-0 in
right,
this run. Fuck
right.
yeah,
Low
it's awesome.
expectations. No one's expecting us to win a game. We're the underdogs. We're the team that fucking no one expects, whatever. But they have a real test next week with the Rams. We'll see how good the Rams look on Monday Night Football against the Niners. But they're gonna have to play against a team that has interior pressure because they have arguably the best defensive player of all time in Aaron Donald. So that will be a great test. Um,
Next
let's go
week's
over.
definitely a game of the defensive lines, man. Rams and Cowboys.
Yeah. Dax obviously saying the pressure will make them fold next week against the Rams. Pressure will show us.
Pressure's what
Oh,
separates the good from the great, or the
yeah.
good from the bad.
Yeah. Shout out to Ahmad getting us that name, Donovan Wilson, and
Donna, yes. God dang it.
he's a safety. So my
He's
bad.
making plays. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
a baller.
yeah, he's definitely making plays. But the NFC is wide open, guys. And just because the Eagles are 4-0, there's no reason why the
Hey,
Cowboys can be the 5th seed.
we're in a stacked division one. All right. 4-0, 3-1, 3-1.
I
It's
know,
tough
fuck
out
it,
here.
AFC West, right?
I know. I'm telling you.
Best division, my ass.
I'm telling you, man. This fucking it's the loaded division. I don't know if you want
Yeah.
to just zoom through some games because I'm kind of in the mood.
Let's zoom through some like snoozers, okay? Let's talk about the New York Giants, okay? Let's stick
Yeah.
in the NFC East. 20-12. Some of the stats for this one, as you guys can see on the screen. Daniel Jones, 71 yards only. Fields, 174. If you had to tell me that Justin Fields was going to have more passing yards than Daniel Jones, I would have laughed, and I would have took the bet that Jones would have more. But hey, it's
Daniel Jones
the
got
NFL.
hurt, and Saquon Barkley had to play quarterback for a few plays. Tyrod Taylor gets knocked out of the game like 4 plays in.
Man,
This team, Giants, you're only going to go as far as Saquon can take you. Just get used to it. Just enjoy it. And Justin Fields, man, I'm sorry. I'm going to apologize to you every fucking week, dude. It's not your fault, man. You can try all you want.
he had some good balls this week.
Yes, it looked better, but even it's simply no talent around him other than Mooney, other than Herbert, other than Montgomery. There's no line. There's not great scheme. It's just kind of like just try to power through. I don't know, man. It's not what you want for a second-year quarterback.
No. But the Giants get the win, man. And I like Dak's comment, man. The New York Barclays, they shouldn't even be called the Giants. The New York Barclays, man. They're Saquon Barkley or bust. Do I think they're good? No. Do I think Chicago's good? No. I think they're really bad. And the fact that they kept Chicago in the game just shows you a lot. But I know how it feels to be a really, really bad team and be like at a 3-1 point early in the season and how good it feels as a Raider fan. So shout out to the Giants. Shout out to Saquon Barkley, proving everyone why he's low-key the best running back in the league when healthy. I'm just gonna say that. I think he's better. He's more talented than Derrick Henry, and he's more talented than Jonathan Taylor. And speaking of Jonathan Taylor, let's go ahead and hit the Colts game. Colts lose at home to the Tennessee Titans, 24-17. Look, this one was the Colts just melting down, man. I just don't think they played good enough flat out. Ryan Tannehill, Matt Ryan, 356 for 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Ryan Tannehill, 137 for 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor, who got hurt in this game and may have a high ankle sprain, questionable for Thursday Night Football, but 42 yards, 0 touchdowns. And Derrick Henry, 114 for a touchdown and 22 carries. Look, this was your classic AFC South fucking showdown where the Tennessee Titans beat the Colts, and we should have seen this coming I can't remember if you picked the Colts or not, but I know
we both stupidly did.
Yeah, we fucked up. When this game started, I was like, geez, like the fucking
I'm surprised the Colts didn't get blown out, in all honesty. Jonathan Taylor's going to be hurt. Say he missed a couple weeks. Is it going to matter? I'm not trying to be a dick. I love John Taylor. I think
Yeah.
he's awesome, but there's something fundamentally wrong with this offense. And I don't think anything's going to happen to change it until Frank Wright's vamoose. He's at it. I think he has to be gone. I think he's two more lost. If they lose the next 2 games, he's fired. There's something wrong with this offensive line, which we expect it to be really good.
Yeah.
Quentin Nelson looks a step up. I don't know what it is.
Shaq Leonard played today, and he was a non-factor.
I didn't see him make that many plays, and that's rare to say about a guy like Shaq Leonard. Maybe change the name back to Darius. Sounded better. I don't know. Colts, man, they're bad. I don't know if it's gonna get better.
It's the first time I've seen the Titans look a little bit like the Titans, like a grinded out game. This is 2 weeks in a row that they have a great first half, that they start off games just on fire, and Derrick Henry looks like he's gonna beat the odds.
Oh, you know what? We got to talk about one thing from this game. I'm sorry. What the fuck are you thinking, Frank Wright, not going for it on 4th and 15? I mean, 4th and 10 or whatever. You kick a field goal down 7 under the 2-minute warning. You're right. You're with me, right? You don't think there's any point to kick the field goal?
No, you got to go for it.
Okay. That right there was fucking stupid.
From a guy in Frank Wright who notoriously is known for being a gambler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been aggressive. That was the one time you were like, you have to go for it. He's like, no. We don't have to go for it. I was like, and he missed the field goal. And I was like, great job.
Very head shaking dude for the Colts, man. They're in trouble. And if you had a guess right now, who's the first coach to be fired? Frank Wright has to be top 3.
Matt Rule.
No. Oh yeah, they lost today to the Cardinals.
Matt Rule.
It's not Mike Tomlin. He's
no. I was gonna say Lovie Smith. No, I think he's good the year.
I think he's good.
Yeah. What's the expectation? Bill Belichick? No, I'm just
Dennis
kidding.
Allen. Oh, Nathaniel Hackett.
No, they're not gonna fire him. They're not gonna fire him this year. You can't do
so.
that. That'd be fucking crazy.
That would be crazy. I would say this, Brandon Staley, as we maneuver on, even though they won today.
Oh,
they won.
Let me say it. Let me do this whole fucking thing. They tried, guys. The Chargers tried their fucking best to lose this game. Go ahead, let me hit him with the stats, Juan. Let me go ahead and hit him with the stats. My man, Jay Herbert, 27 for 39, 340, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And Davis Mills, 26 for 35, 246, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Mike Williams, big day, 7 receptions for 120 yards. Damian Pierce, 14 carries, 131 yards, 1 touchdown. If you take out 80 yards, it wasn't that impressive because it was one big run from him.
Shout out to DP. Trust the process. Go on.
No, I agree. He's looked good, but let me put it like this, guys. I'm the resident Charger fan. Juan hates him. He's going to be biased. Fumble a kickoff, give up an 80-yard touchdown in like two plays. What are you guys doing out there? And I know Bosa's gone for 10 weeks. I know Rashawn Slater's out the whole year. Those are big losses.
Yeah. Keenan Allen's out.
It's just like, what the hell are you doing? If this was any team, like say this was Atlanta, Atlanta was playing them, they would have lost because Houston's that like talent barren. That's the only reason, because it's Houston.
Yeah.
A good team would have came back and destroyed the Chargers.
Yeah. Houston still got some problems on offense. Davis Mills did not look impressive today. I felt like he was the reason why they couldn't get into it. But shout out to my brother, man. I thought he made a really good point about the Chargers. When the Chargers are really going and they're really, vibing, it's Austin Eckler. Like Austin Eckler is the engine that really drives that team. And when he's scoring touchdowns and, getting yards out there. Yeah, he's in space. That's when they're absolutely at their best, man. And I think the first 3 weeks, even against the Raiders, like he was held in check all 3 of those games. And I think a big reason why they had an offensive explosion was Eckler getting back on track. He scored his first touchdowns today because he had multiple. But all season, he hasn't scored a touchdown before today. So he got back on track. The Chargers look fine. But the one thing that's going to scare me till the fucking coach gets fired is Brandon Staley. I do not trust them. They're going to be a good team. Today, I felt like they won because of their talent, Max.
Yeah.
Because of Justin Herbert, because of Austin Eckler, because of all those dogs that they have on defense with Khalil Mack. It wasn't a coaching thing. Like the coaches almost lost it for them 2 weeks in a row. And until that changes, until Brandon Staley shows me otherwise, it's always going to be them. Even their offense, Max. They have so many weapons on offense, and they run some of the most bare bones fucking bullshit in the league. It's fucking ridiculous.
You didn't. I mentioned it. The amount of times they shot themselves in the foot. It's not going to cut it. You can't do that against good teams and expect to win the game. You were right. There was an offensive explosion from Eckler, and I don't know if there's any game to talk about that had more offense than Seattle versus Detroit. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't put that in there. It was 48-45. I'm sorry about that. I thought I did that. But go ahead, Juan. Hit him with the stats.
Jared Goff, 378, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Geno Smith, shout out to Geno, 320 for 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. DK Metcalf, a.k.a. Poop My Pants Boy, had to be carted off to go use the restroom, if you guys didn't know.
Did he confirm shit his pants?
No, he didn't shit his pants, but he definitely had to use the restroom. That's why he got carted off, which is absolutely insane. And TJ Hawkinson
is proud.
TJ Hawkinson, who won me like $4 today on DraftKings because I picked him in one of my DraftKings
my
lineups.
First fantasy matchup of the
Shout out to Max, bro.
I'm the Raiders. I go as the Raiders go. I go as the Raiders go, man.
Yeah, Max definitely got his first dub because of TJ Hawkinson, but so much offense in this one. This one just tells one story, Max. The Lions, they're bad on defense. I was calling out for
it's historic, bro. This
is fucking bad. It's reminding me of the Chiefs a couple years back. How they had like a good offense, but they had terrible defense.
Maybe the Cowboys a little bit.
Cowboys, yeah.
Here's what people. This is all I heard the whole game. Well, they're missing DJ Chark, Amon-Ra St. Brown, DeAndre Swift. Pretty sure they still would have given up 48 fucking points if those guys have played. Because they have no problem moving the ball.
Yeah.
They just can't stop a fucking nosebleed. And Jared Goff had Jared Goff played well, but he threw a pick 6, which was huge. And it's just, I can't believe how bad this defense is. And they have decent guys. Aiden Hutchinson, solid. Rodrigo.
McNeil, Rodrigo. They got
Jeffrey Okudah was in position a lot. He got the ball caught on him a lot today, but it was like, damn, he's right on him. But DK Metcalf.
Quandre Diggs.
Yeah. Well, he's on
Seattle. Have some names.
That's Seattle.
Oh, no, Seattle. My bad.
No. It's a Quandre Diggs got the revenge game for sure.
But I would say this, Max. The Lions are going to definitely be that team that puts up a bunch of points, but gives up a bunch of points. They're young. I want to say that DK Metcalf definitely took the Jeffrey Okudah hype personal and destroyed him today.
But I would say this one, there were so many times it's like, he's on him. And then DK Metcalf was like, yeah, I still got it. Don't worry.
Fuck you. Like, you're not on me.
Yeah. It's like, oh, he's covered, but he's like not covered. No. You know what I mean? He's like in position, but he just can't make the fucking play.
Well, something I figured out, Max, and later on in the week after we did our show, of course, because fuck the internet sometimes. But he was hearing all the Jeffrey Okudah hype, and he called out Jeffrey Okudah. He was like, this guy's not locking guys down. Watch the film. He's getting safety help. He's going to get exposed. And
a little bit.
DK Metcalf talked the talk, and he walked the walk.
And he shat the shit.
And he shat the shit.
Yeah, he shit the shit.
But shout out to the fucking Seahawks, bro. They get their second dub of the year. Lions, they're still a young team. I don't see this team being a playoff team, man, unless they do something about that defense. I love Aaron Glenn, their defensive coordinator. I like his feistiness.
You need to change the philosophy. It's not fucking.
You need
working.
a change, and I wouldn't be surprised if Dan Campbell held him accountable and he's fired by like week 6 if this keeps up.
Yeah,
or like week 8.
I like Aaron Glenn. He seems like a good dude. Don't fire Deuce Staley. Don't fire any of the offensive guys. And Dan Campbell, I think he's safe the whole year. Yeah, I said it right. Horrible. Like you can't give him 40 points every week. You just can't do
it. Talking about horrible. The Cleveland Browns drop a fucking game today, 20-23.
Thanks.
Typical Cleveland fashion. Brissett, who looked really, I want to say really good, but he looked good today at times. 234 for 0 touchdowns and 1 interception. Mariota 7 for 19, doing his best impression of Justin Fields. 139, 0 touchdowns and an interception. Nick Chubb 19 carries, 118 for a touchdown, and Tyler Algier, 10 carries for 84 yards.
Look, Kyle Pitts had 1 catch. Drake London had 2 catches. How the heck
Fucking
did
Kyle Pitts. Get your shit together, dog. Jeez.
it's not him. I don't think it's him, dude.
Do you think?
Just get the
I hope not.
Just run a
Fuck.
fucking play. Run a play
I
to him.
know.
Do something. Give him a screen. Let him run. How the hell did Atlanta win this game? They were basically outperformed. Maybe Myles Garrett being there, maybe that's 1 turnover, and he's doing fine, which is really good news considering the scary car crash. But Arthur Smith wins weird freaking games like this, man.
Yeah.
I think Atlanta's. I want to say they're trending in the right way, but like they're not in a sense because there's still not a lot of talent on this team. But maybe they're building towards the future. I don't know. Atlanta's fun. They're frisky. They have a couple playmakers. If they can just get the tall pass catchers involved, watch out.
Yeah. I don't like what I seen from Cleveland at the end of the game, man. Like
No.
you can't lose that. You cannot lose that game. They had it.
No, we talked about this. It's just get to week 11. You should be 4-0.
Yes,
how
honestly.
much room that buys you. And we haven't talked about Pittsburgh going down today. That's a golden opportunity to be 4-0. Baltimore would be 2-2.
And they got
and
the
Cincinnati's
Chargers
2-2.
They got the Chargers next week, so that's looking like a loss. And knowing them, they'll probably win it because they win the games that they're not supposed to. But it's get enough wins for Deshaun. You had the opportunity, and they're gonna be kicking themselves when it comes to December when they're 1 game out of the playoffs because they didn't win in fucking October in Atlanta when you had the game in your hands, or you lost to the New York Jets and you were up by fucking 20 points or whatever the hell it was, and you're kicking yourself in the ass, bro, because you fucked up an opportunity.
But you know what? Maybe we shouldn't say losing to the Jets is such a bad thing because the Jets look competent. They beat Pittsburgh. I talked about it. I'm pissed off. If I knew Zach Wilson was going to play, I would have picked the Jets. And granted, he didn't play all that well, but there's a difference. The way the ball pops off his hand compared to Joe Flacco's, it's a different ball.
I'm going to say this. The main storyline out of this one is Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett finally came in the game. Mitch Trubisky got benched. Pickett came in. First throw that he does is an interception.
It was a good throw.
I don't think it was a bad throw. I don't think it was a bad decision. It was not his fault. Chase Claypool, you're absolutely a disappointment.
He's the biggest guy to be horrible at jump balls.
Oh my goodness. It was the worst attempt I've ever seen for a guy that's 6'4" to go up and jump for a ball. But Kenny Pickett, 10 for 13, 120, 0 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions.
2 rushing touchdowns, and they were gutty. They were like gutsy.
Yeah.
And
he ignited that crowd. Okay. It was the juice that they needed. Corey Davis, 74 yards, 1 touchdown. And George Pickens, 6 receptions for 102 yards. Little breakout game for the rookie.
Like
right
George Pickens, man. We've talked about it.
At this point,
Pickens sounds too good to not be.
Way too good, Max. They need to start those
P2P. 2 guys. Pushing P.
Pushing P. I like that one. But they need to bench Claypool and put him at the 3rd receiver and put Pickens in that 2 spot at least.
Deontay and George. Let's get it.
For real. But the Steelers let this slip in their hands, man. They're just not good. Let's just be real. Their offensive line sucks. They can't get the run game going with Najee. They have a quarterback problem. At the end of the day, as good as everyone wants Pickett to be, he's not going to be good to the point where he's a difference maker. He has to be a game manager, and they need to win games by like Minkah Fitzpatrick doing what he did in the first quarter. And that's like getting touchdowns. That's their one way of winning. And it's not fucking sustainable all throughout the season.
Yeah, it's also not pretty. And for the Jets, you're 2-2. Kudos to you. This might be the thing that kind of gives them confidence, and maybe they can be a 6-11 team or a 7-9, a 7-10 team. Because I don't think this is the same old incompetent Jets one. Quinn Williams,
that last drive was impressive.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they look good, man. I mean, they took advantage of Kenny Pickens. They had 3 picks. They got some guys like Jordan Whitehead, LaMarcus Joyner, who can play football anywhere, not in
who stole money from the Raiders, but that's
still wanted for that thievery he committed in the desert. But look, Jets fans, just be happy, man. Don't be like Cowboy fans and expect this team to be something it's not. Just let them be fun and feisty, and
Exactly.
because they're going in the right direction.
They are, man. They are. And that's with them having injuries. I'm happy for Robert Saleh. I'm happy for Zach Wilson. Happy for Brees Hall. Starting to see some stuff out of him for the last 2 weeks of him. Had the game-winning touchdown. So shout out to Brees Hall.
How many games do we have left? I see
We got
Arizona and the Chiefs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got to talk the Chiefs game. Forgot about that one.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and hit these quick. Okay. We got the Cardinals 26-16. Stats for this one: Kyler Murray 207 for 2 touchdowns. Baker Mayfield 197, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown. Marquise Brown 6 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. And DJ Moore 6 catches for 50 yards. Look,
Kyler
I'm
was
gonna
the bigger man this week. Juan.
really though.
He didn't get everything batted into the fucking sky. Baker
Man,
Mayfield.
I thought the Cardinals were going to get beat down this game the way that started. I thought Carolina's defense came out to play, but it was a different story in the second half and later on in the game. Like the Cardinals came out, they dominated. They finally looked competent, but this is scary for the Panthers, a team that I like, a team that I thought was going in the right direction, but you can't have weeks like this where it's just like, oh my God, what the fuck was that kind of game?
Their offense is so freaking bad.
And they got
Ikwonu
they
is not awesome yet. I think he'll get there one, but God, Baker and just it's not all Baker's fault, man. It's not all his fault, but they can't run the ball. Like
Yeah.
they can't throw the ball vertically. DJ Moore had a slow game. Robbie Anderson's kind of like boomer bust, and Terrence Marshall, one a guy we really liked coming out, or I really liked, has been nowhere to be found.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard, man. But shout out to the Cardinals getting the wins where they can get them. And Matt Rule, I think he's back on the hot seat with that one because that's a Matt Rule game where
Who they play next week, Carolina? I'll look it up real quick. They play the 49ers. If they get smoked, I wouldn't be surprised. If it's goodbye.
Exactly. We're gonna go over the last game. Of course, we went live while this game was going on, but the Chiefs wind up beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I believe, what was it, 45-35? Was that the final score, Max?
I believe it was 41-31.
41
Wasn't
to
that
31.
close, guys.
Yeah, it wasn't that close. The Bucks made it respectable at the end, but it's one question out of this game, Max. Is Tom Brady finally having the father time creep up on him?
I'm hoping. I'm really hoping. No,
He got hit tonight. He got hit tonight pretty bad. He was
it hurt him a little bit. I think it was L'Jarius Sneed who got him. He fumbled.
Yeah.
He looked old, man. He looked old this game, and this old line isn't what it used to be. It's really not. And it for Tom Brady, need a good old line. It's just not there. I know the Chiefs are the Chiefs; they're talented, but I think the Bucks have some big problems, and of course, they're going to look good against the Panthers, the Falcons, and what's the other team? The Saints, because those teams are just a joke. Tom Brady knows how to pick weak divisions.
Yeah.
But when against the cream of the crop, it doesn't look that good. I know they kind of kept it in the game against Green Bay last week, but the offense has a lot of injuries too. Receivers.
And the defense got picked on today.
I know Patrick Mahomes did something incredible.
Look, Patrick Mahomes.
Did that make you smile? That didn't happen against the Raiders for a change?
It didn't make me smile at all because I'm dreading next week on Monday Night Football that we have to play those motherfuckers, but they're good, man. They're good to go. I think it was obvious that Colts game was a fluke. There's a lot of stupid calls in that one. There's a lot of like head scratching decisions and stuff that went on in that game.
Horrible field goal kicking.
Yeah, horrible field goal kicking. I think it was obvious that game was a fluke. And the Chiefs are good to go. They're good. Okay. They're looking like a top 3 team in the league. Their defense is good. Their offense is good. I don't think they missed Tyreek Hill.
I'm glad you said that. I'm really glad you said that. They filled him in so many different ways. Yeah. Juju, Sky Moore, and MVS are filling in just fine.
Yeah. But don't worry about the Bucks. Like Max said, weak division, weak conference. They're going to be in the mix at the end of the day. But the one thing that scares you is the offensive line. And when you have an old quarterback like Brady, can't be getting hit like that, my guy. at all.
Definitely not one.
All right, there goes all the games.
We have TeaBags to talk about.
We got TeaBags to talk about. Me and Max like to do this segment every single Sunday night. For the recap, we pick two teams that absolutely just teabags, bro. And if you guys don't know what a teabag is, what is a teabag, Max? Go ahead and say the definition.
Just look in the mirror. You'll see. No, it's just a team that just underwhelms you, that F's you. Like if you pick them to be your lock and they fuck you. Well, I guess that's just the running thing with one, but it's a teabag team, just a team that kind of doesn't show up this week. Kind of just underwhelms. For my instance,
shit's the bed.
I would say mine first. It's more a unit than a team. It's Detroit Lions defense. You guys fucking suck. You can't give up 48 points to Seattle. And one, I'm going to say this real quick footnote. If I was going to say a teabag of the week, what person? Whoever that fucking concussion doctor was for Tua. You're a fucking teabag, bro.
That's facts, man.
I don't have a doctor's degree, but I fucking knew he was concussed from my couch. So did everyone else.
Yeah, that was definitely a teabag. My teabag team of the week is the Denver Broncos. I'm looking at it from a Broncos perspective. It's not even because the Raiders beat them. It's just more of how they looked. They didn't look competent. Their offense sucks. Their defense got a little bit picked on today in the run game. And they lost to a Raiders team that didn't play all that well today. So shout out to the Donkeys, man. Not looking good for them. They lost Javonte Williams. Possibly for the year. Who knows how long Randy Gregory's out. So Broncos got to get their shit together, man. Most definitely. And shout out to this picture because I have to show it because it's just who I am. Mount up.
Who is that? Who's on there?
That's Jonathan Abram riding a donkey, you know.
Why is Jonathan Abram on there? Did he make plays today?
Hey, man. He got the dub. He's a starter. It's all good. Overdrafted a little bit, but he rides donkeys. Look, man, we want to
apologize. I was honestly a little bit of teabag of the week with my camera. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the tech. And my family. Shout out to them for slamming fucking doors. Shout out to them.
Oh man, but shout out to you guys, man. Whoever joined the chat. Shout out to Amaz. Shout out to D. Shout out to Dak. I'm forgetting anyone. If I'm forgetting anyone, I'm sorry, but thank you guys for joining the live chat. If you guys are watching this after the fact, go ahead and hit up our live. If you guys really run up the numbers on this one and you guys like the video, show us support on it and we will do it more. We will make an effort to go live on Sundays. You know, it all depends on what you guys want, man. We're willing to do anything. So if you guys like the live content, if you guys like the live content, go ahead and let us know by hitting the like button, man. And if you guys are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Max, anything else to say?
Like if you're 4-0, you get to go to bed early tonight. I'm out. Peace. Juan, you got to run this shit.
1-3, baby. 1-3, baby. All right. We are out. Raider Nation, let's go. Broncos country, let's not ride. I'm out.